Hello, now then, something a little bit unusual today. Weird Biscuit Tea Time. Oh yes, that is correct. Weird Biscuit Tea Time, and an album. As you can see from the bottom there, DJDDAY. I've got no idea how that should be pronounced, so I'm not going to try, other than tell you about what Weird Biscuit Tea Time's all about. It features the late and very great Daevid Allen, he of Soft Machine and Gong, etc. And it reached me about a week or so ago, somewhat out of the blue. And when I opened it and saw that Don Falcone was involved, Don, of course, of Spirits Burning and others, saw him listed in the lineup and as the producer, I figured that Don had arranged for it to be sent to me, and contacted Don, and indeed he did, so thank you, Don. So what's Weird Biscuit Tea Time? It's fantastic, isn't it? Right, try and be serious for a minute. I'll tell you about it now, but first, if you wouldn't mind clicking the little subscribe button there. It doesn't cost anything, and you can get to know when I put other videos up. There are hundreds on the channel already, and more to come. This is just one of them. Anyway, Weird Biscuit Tea Time. I just can't stop saying that. Weird Biscuit Tea Time. Brilliant. Was a studio-based project which David and Don were involved with, along with some others, back at the start of the century, about 20 odd years ago. They recorded 2 albums, this one being one of them, and the other one, 11s. You can see it's still retaining a tea time theme, isn't it? 11s. That went out with the name changed to Daevid Allen Weird Quartet. Anyway, but here we are, a couple of decades further down the line from when this was originally issued, and we've got a remastered, re-release version with 5 bonus tracks as well. Now, if you're familiar with David's early 70s output with Gong, you can probably take a guess as to what you might expect from Weird Biscuit Tea Time. It's not as outright spacey and trippy as, say, Angel's Egg or You were back in the early 70s, that marvellous Flying Teapot trilogy. Generally, I would say it's a bit more of a heavier approach, lots of driving rhythms, but it's still got all, in the undertone, it's still all that familiar Gong-like stuff, all the weird sounds and swirls and whatnot, and all the pulsing and throbbing beats, and say those rhythms over the top of it. It's kind of, try and describe it, it's kind of like sort of extreme, dense, heavy-ish, but yet trippy prog, with all the familiar Gong stuffs going on underneath it too. Now, I didn't find it a particularly easy listen at first, but this is one of those that if you stick with it, you'll get it, and it does become quite, I'm trying to think of ways to describe it again, because it's a bit different. I'd say it's quite hypnotic once you get into it. Hypnotic and tribal in a weird, compelling way. It kind of sucks you in more and more with each listen. You pick out little bits that you've not heard before and things like that. And also, if, like me, you grew up in the 70s and often drift back to those days when you were listening to that timeless Flying Teapot trilogy, this will be your bag, I would say. So why not make yourself a nice cup of tea, boil the kettle, warm the pot. When you're ready, pour the tea into the cup, add milk and sugar. Milk comes second where I'm from. You don't put the milk in first. Sugar to taste, stir it and drink it, whilst listening to this and dunking the occasional hobnob in your cup of tea, and then you can have your very own Weird Biscuit Tea Time. How about that? So thanks again to Don for sending a copy over to me. There are various formats available on the good old Amazon, but other outlets are available, which I will link to underneath. And also, depending on where you are in the world, you might look at getting it direct from Deco, the label, and I'll put a link to that in the description underneath as well. So you've got the choice if you might be curious, or remember it. So there we are, Weird Biscuit Tea Time and DJDDAY. Thanks again to Dom for sending it. Do check it out. Do also subscribe to the channel before you go, because that would be great. And soon, something arrived in the post today, which can't say too much about for the moment, but it's something that us old and the Wobbum types will enjoy, I'm sure. But I've got to keep it a bit stum for the time being. But anyway, I'll stop rambling now. But Weird Biscuit Tea Time, phenomenal. All right, until next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and take care.